everyone, it's James here from Dark Arts Lockpicking. Hope you're all doing well. Picks and locks, doing some hacking, but as always, keeping it bloody legal. Something a little bit different today. This is to do with prepping and to have backups on backups on backups. So I like to be prepared for stuff like here at the moment is storm season. We have had so much rain, it is not funny. People are getting flooded out, flash flooding. Roads are getting washed away. Like, it is unbelievable. We get hit by this every year this time of year. Spring, storm season. And I'm getting all my camping and everything gear, all that kind of gear ready for summer. Because now the weather's hopefully going to start getting nicer towards summer. Hopefully we'll be able to get away for a few weekends, do a bit of camping and stuff like that. And I've just ordered in a wood stove. Which is like a multi-tool wood stove, which I will do a video on once it gets here. I've ordered that for like 110 bucks. But a good thing, as I was saying, backup on backup on backup, is these little duvalakis just here that I've made. These are char cloth. And they're used for creating, they're used to create fire. They're like a fuel source to get embers going, or to get an ember going in order to light kindling and stuff like that. So these are very, very easy to make, and they are very, very reactive to heat. So your ferrous rod strikers will set these things off, like this one here. They will set this off with no problems whatsoever. Magnifying glass, anything that can create quite a bit of heat in a focal point on this, these are very reactive to it, and will start to burn quite hot. Not enough to burst into flames, but quite hot enough that if you put it in a ball of kindling and blow on it, it's going to set it on fire very, very easily. And they're super easy to make. The good thing to have on hand, again, backup of backup of backup. If your gas lighter runs out of gas, your matches get wet, or anything like that, it's always good to have a little backup just on hand. Very primitive tool to use, but a good one to have on hand. It's very easy to make. You just need a heat source, which I've got my little portable gas stove out the back there, because this thing gives out a lot of fumes that you don't want to breathe in. And you need a tin. So coming up to Christmas time, I don't know if it's just my family that gets these, but hopefully some of you have got, or will get given, tins of Christmas biscuits, the shortbreads. And keep the tin, and you can use this to make your little sets of char cloth. So all you need is the tin, knock a hole in it, not too big, not too small, just big enough that it's a bit of a vent to let the fumes out, and that is your canister that you're going to use to create your char cloth. And all you need is cotton. You can use cotton balls, you can use cotton shirts, cotton towels, as long as it's 100% cotton. So I'm using these makeup pads that I stole off Blaze. No, not really. I went and bought these because they're like $1.50 for a packet. That's all you need is cotton. Cotton balls work really well and are very, very easy to make as well. But just take your cotton pads like this, and I'm just going to throw them into my tin. Now, you don't want to overcrowd it. And I mean, you have a look at the size difference between one of these cotton makeup pads and the char cloth. It loses quite a lot of its volume, as you can see. And it's just, it doesn't burn, it doesn't like a normal, like you would think. It wouldn't just catch on fire in this. Sometimes you can get flame out the top from the fumes, but I haven't, using the gas stove like with this, and it only takes like 2 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes. Once the fumes start coming out the top, she's cooked. So I'm just literally throwing these in. I don't want to really overcrowd it. I might throw a few more in this time. And you can see the volume difference once this is all done. So that's all I'm going to do. I might throw a couple more in there for good luck. And you just store these in a Ziploc bag to keep them dry, or in a little tin somewhere. And your little backup. Take the lid, stick it on top, and that's it. Now I'm just going to stick it over the top of the little gas stove I've got sitting outside, and it's going to heat it up. Get to about 400 degrees usually. You can throw this in a campfire, or any form of fire in a way, like a campfire, or if you've got a brazier or anything like that. Anywhere you can get heat form, like heat source for it. Heat this up. Fumes will start coming out. Try not to breathe in it because it stinks and it's quite toxic to begin with, because it gives out like carbon monoxide. And then once the fumes and all the smoke starts coming out of it, then she's cooked. Let her cool down and you've got yourself some char cloth. So let's take this out to the gas stove, which I've got sitting out in the backyard here, because of the amount of fumes this thing puts out, and we'll get this going, and then we can have a look at the results of how it works. So let me pause this and we'll go out. Alright, so I've got the heat going. There's a little bit of water on it from condensation. So I've got it on a little gas stove, and you'll see once it starts heating up, that fumes are going to start coming out of it. Just start to probably a little bit hard to see. A little bit more, like you can see fumes are coming out. That stuff you do not want to go breathing in. So we're going to wait until that stops. All that smoke stops coming out of there. That's when we know that we're cooked. So we'll pause this and we'll bring it in once it's all done. I'm trying to get my camera to sit, but doesn't want to. Got my little bit of char cloth here, as you can see. And just to show you how reactive this is, I'm going to put a spark on it. This is the spark, like that. And as you can see, it creates quite a bit of heat, quite fast. And after, alright, so it's had time to cool down. It's all finished, all the smokes are finished pouring out of it, and it's cooled down now so I can touch it. And we're going to open it up and have a look what we've got here. And it stinks to high heaven. I mean, look at the build up on the top of that lid. Like, yeah, that ain't pretty. You don't want to breathe that shit in, trust me. It ain't good for you. But then you end up with these. And look at this, look. Little charred cloth. Or char cloth. So it doesn't burn it, it just chars it. And then it becomes this very reactive substance to heat sources, as you see or saw. Like, it just reacts instantly to it. A hot enough light bulb will set it off. Like, well, obviously a cigarette lighter or a match. But if you, like, say your cigarette lighter's run out of gas, but it still flints and sparks, you can use that to light these, to set these off in order to be able to create fire. So, super easy to make, super cheap, and it's a great thing to have in your back pocket So once you run out of matches, once you run out of gas in your lighters, or you want to get back to practicing old school methods of lighting a fire, this is a great little tool to have and to make. So for $1.50, I mean, look, you get a load of them to have, and they don't leave black marks on your fingers or anything like that. So anyway, there you go. Char cloth, something different, something simple, something easy to make. Super reactive, great way to light fires in an emergency, or you know, if you feel like doing things old school. But anyway, great one to have in your bag of tricks. Great one to have in your bug out bags or your everyday carry kits in your car, just as something as a backup on a backup on a backup. Because I mean, everything fails on you at least once, so it's always nice to have a backup if something fails. But anyway, as always, check out all links in the description down below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, that subscribe button, and the notification bell. Stay tuned when we put out videos, and as always, keep it bloody legal, and I'll see you all soon.